UFC 310 just happened. I'm gonna be going over the card and seeing who these fighters should fight next after these UFC 310 fights. I'm gonna obviously the main event was Pantoja versus Asakura with the co-main Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Ian Garry. So let's just start at the bottom real quick. I'll just get these ones out of the way. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Lucas. Don't even know how to say his name. Kennedy Nzechukwu. I think he should verse someone like, let's just look at the rankings. I think he deserves a ranked opponent. Give him Tai Tuivasa. I think that's a great fight. I think Kennedy might be able to win that too. So yeah, Kennedy versus Tai Tuivasa. Put him in the rankings. I think he belongs there, and he's a couple more wins away from it. Chase Hooper versus Clay Guida. Chase Hooper, give him Jim Miller. If I'm not mistaken, he called him out, and I think everyone thinks that'll be a good fight. So yeah, Michael Chiesa versus Max Griffin. I don't care. Michael Chiesa is 54 years old. Joshua Van versus Cody Durden. This is tough, because Joshua Van is very good, and he just beat Cody Durden, who is ranked number 14, I believe. So, I would love to see a Joshua Van and Manel Cap fight. I think that'll be great, magnificent. Joshua Van is very young, uh, and he's really good. His boxing is so good. I think put him against Manel Cap. I think Manel Cap's grappling could be a problem, but I think it'll be a good fight. I think he could definitely beat Manel Cap. Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. Do not care about this. Randy Brown versus Ryan Battle. I don't think Ryan Battle belongs in the rankings yet. So or maybe you could put Brian Battle in the rankings. Maybe give him Vicente Luque. Why not? Vicente Luque coming off of a win. Brian Battle coming off of a win. Great fight. Now, Aljamain Sterling versus Movsar Evloev. Guys, I thought Eljo won. I genuinely did think Eljo won. I thought the control time in round 3 was enough. Even though Movsar ended up on top at the last minute, I still think Eljo won the fight. He proved a lot of people wrong. I think a lot of people forgot who Aljamain Sterling was, and I thought he won this. So Eljo, I think you should give him Brian Ortega. Where is Brian in the rankings? He's number 6. Or you know what? Give Eljo Yair Rodriguez. I think Eljo would destroy Rodriguez. So why not? I mean, I just think I don't think Eljo deserves to fight down the rankings now. I think he honestly beat Mozart, and I think they should want him near the title. I think as far as name wise, and Aljamain Sterling, he should fight Brian Ortega. He would beat Brian Ortega, So yeah, Mozart have him fight for the title against the winner of maybe Diego Lopez versus Taporia, or Taporia versus Volk. Have him fight the winner. Have him fight for the title. Why not? He deserves it. I think he has the wins to do it. So yeah, and he won this fight. Even though I didn't think he'd win, it was still an amazing performance by Mozart. I didn't realize, but in this fight, Mozart was much bigger than Eljo. Mozart is huge, and he's very, very strong for the weight division. He looks like a 170er. Honestly, he's huge. So yeah, Vicente Luque versus Themba Gorimbo. Now, Vicente Luque could put him against Brian Battle, but why not put Themba Gorimbo? Either of these guys versus Brian Battle. Themba, is out of the rankings, so I think actually Themba versus Brian Battle maybe. That'll be good. Now Dominic Reyes versus Anthony Smith. Great fight. Anthony Smith, he shouldn't fight anyone next. I think he should retire. I was even saying before this, he should retire. That second round was a pathetic. Even though I know he was struggling with a lot in the octagon, still, he would have got dominated either way. Now, who should Dominic Reyes fight? If we look in the rankings here, if you want Dominic Reyes near the title, right? So I think Dominic Reyes should fight someone like... Damn, there's some tough fights actually. Ozdemir. Have they fought before? Am I tripping? But I don't know. I think Ozdemir versus Dominic Reyes is good, and I could definitely see Dominic Reyes winning that too. Nate Landwehr versus Duho Choi. Um, Duho's really good, man. And just looking at featherweight rankings, I think you should give him a ranked opponent, and I think that person should be Edson Barboza, number 15, and a very winnable fight, or even Dan Ige actually. I think. So yeah. Bryce Mitchell versus Kron Gracie. Kron Gracie cut him from the UFC. He's a disgrace. Bryce Mitchell, he did look a little timid and a little different in that fight. I think that knockout by Josh Emmett definitely affected him. But who should Bryce Mitchell fight next? I say the winner of like a Lerone Murphy versus Josh Emmett. You know, if Josh Emmett wins, they could go for the rematch. If Lerone Murphy wins, they should. Well, I don't even think. Wait, this fight isn't even confirmed. Why not just do Lerone Murphy versus Bryce Mitchell next? But I know Lerone Murphy wants to go up in the ranking, so that could be a problem. They could definitely do Bryce Mitchell versus Aljamain Sterling after this. I could see that. I could very well see that. Now, Sorrel Gone versus Alexander Volkov. Guys, I thought Volkov won this fight. I really did. I don't know why. I thought he definitely won the second round and definitely won the third round. I don't really know how or why they did this. Maybe it's just rigged for Gone. Gone. I don't think he deserves a title shot against Aspinall, the winner of Aspinall versus Jones. And obviously Volkov doesn't because he lost. If we look in the rankings though, guys, the heavyweight division is so shit. Volkov beat. He beat. Sergey's ranked number 7? They could do Almeida versus one of these. You do Almeida versus Gone. I would love to see that. And Volkov versus maybe Curtis Blades again. I don't know. I think you just do the rematch. Honestly, Fight Night main event again. Third fight. Honestly, like for real. This fight didn't tell me who should fight for the title next. That you should do a rematch after this. There's no one else they're going to fight in the heavyweight division. The heavyweight division is trash. The least deep division. Now, Ian Machado Garry versus Shavkat Rakhmonov went the distance. First time Shavkat went the distance in his career, and it was in a 5-round fight. Very good fight. It kind of went how I didn't. It kind of went how it could be expected, a clinch fest, which it was, but a good clinch fest because it was entertaining too. Ian Garry is very good, man. This fight told me he was very good, and I knew it was going to be a tough fight for Shavkat to begin with. Now, Shavkat, I would say he won 4 out of those 5 rounds, or even Ian Garry won two of those rounds. Shavkat Rakhmonov, obviously, he's fighting Belal Muhammad for the title next. There's not really any conversation about that. Now, Ian Garry, if I'm the UFC, I want Ian Garry near that title, obviously. Guys, you got to do Ian Garry versus Leon Edwards, or Ian Garry versus Sean Brady. Let's see the rankings. Where's Sean Brady? So Sean Brady is actually tied with Jack Della Maddalena at 4. Now I know they're probably gonna do. They're leaning towards Sean Brady versus what's his name, Leon Edwards. But I don't know if they're going to do that because they haven't announced it yet. But they could. They very well could. And they're probably leaning towards Usman versus Jack Della. Now, Colby Covington is 1 rank ahead of of Ian Garry. Joaquin Buckley is fighting Colby Covington. If Joaquin beats, or either Ian Garry fights the winner of either fights the winner of Colby and Joaquin Buckley, or he fights Leon Edwards for a title eliminator. I believe Ian Garry would beat Leon Edwards. I do believe that. I don't know. After seeing that fight, I think Leon Edwards wouldn't have anything for Ian Garry, to be honest. I think Ian Garry would beat Leon Edwards, and that could be a title eliminator. And if they don't do that, do Ian Gary versus the winner of Colby and Joaquin Buckley. Straight up. That's the only two fights that make sense for Ian Gary. Either the title eliminator or the popular fight that would be Joaquin Buckley or Colby Covington, which would be the ideal scenario. Now, but great fight though, amazing. Alejandro Pantoja versus Kai Asakura. Pantoja gets the second round sub against Asakura. I predicted the round that Asakura would finish, but he got finished. I predicted that Asakura was gonna win via flying knee, but in my head, I'm not just gonna say this because now that Pantoja won, but I knew Pantoja was gonna low key win, But Pantoja, man, he's cleared out flyweight. He's beat Brandon Royval 2 times, Moreno 3 times, Amir Albrazi I think won, Kai Kara once, Tetsuya Taira he hasn't fought him. If I'm them, now what are they gonna do with Kai Asakura? Let's talk about that first. He did not look in the first round it was competitive, but you can see a slight edge that Pantoja had. If they want to keep Asakura, you got to do Asakura versus Tetsuya Taira in a fight night main event or in like Japan or something. You know what I'm saying? Or just in the Apex or something. Make that a title eliminator for Tetsuya Taira. So you can have Tetsuya Taira versus Pantoja to give Pantoja some new people. Now, I think the fight to make is Brandon Royval versus Pantoja number 3. After that fight, I think Pantoja will probably win, even though I would want Brandon Royval to win. You got to Pantoja, he can start looking up to 135. Now, I think Pantoja would get murked by a lot of these 135 guys, but I think he would do decent. Look at how, whatever his face, Davison and Figueiredo did at 135, So Pantoja could do decent, man. But he's cleared out the flyweight division, and the flyweight division is kind of dead. So I know the UFC were hoping Asakura would get this one, but I don't know. They could cut him after. They could cut him after this. We don't know. But yeah, it's a quick little not really breakdown. I didn't really break down any of these fights. By the way, I got basically all these fights right on my predictions. I got Kennedy Nzechukwu, Chase Hooper, Michael Chiesa, Joshua Van. By the way, I gotta say Joshua Van had probably the best performance out of anyone on this card, except maybe Pantoja. Joshua Van is so good. Bro, this guy's like he's like a Peter Yan, just like a little less crafty. His boxing is so good. I can see this guy doing great things in the flyweight division in the future, and I think he's very young. How old is he? Does it say his age here or anything? I don't know. Where does it say his age here? Am I tweaking? Doesn't say his age, but I think he's only like 24 or something. Guys, this guy's the future of flyweight, so please watch out for him. But yeah, I got all these fights right. Eric Anders I got right. Brian Battle I got right. Now, the Mozart, Evloev, and Sterling fight. You guys forgot who Aljamain Sterling was. This guy is so good. He was one of the bantamweight goats, man. And he came up here and took down and controlled Mozart for most of the fight. No one has been able to do that to Evloev ever, not even come close. And Eljo just casually did it. Dominated the first round and won the third round. And the second round, you could say you won that too. It was close. I want to see Eljo versus Evloev again now. Evloev is huge, man, and he could give Topuria major problems. But I think his striking needs to come together a little more. So yeah, Vicente Luque, he's doing his thing. I feel bad for Themba Garimbo. The Rock gave him a house and he cried and stuff. He's from Africa, South Africa, Johannesburg. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Dominic Reyes is the GOAT. I think do him versus I think you guys already said it. So whatever. Kron Gracie's a goof. Gone versus Volkov. Do the third trilogy, man. there's nothing else happening at heavyweight. Do it while waiting for John Jones and Aspinall to be figured out, because you're not going to give Ciryl Gane a title shot after this performance. You can't. So, yeah. Ian Garry versus Leon Edwards, or the winner of Colby versus Joaquin Buckley. Come on, guys. You guys got to do it. Yeah, so that was my little breakdown slash yap session slash who should fighters fight next. So, of UFC 310. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment whatever you want. Let me know what I should do next. What other videos I should do next. Let me know a tier list video I should do next. That's your guys' challenge. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and peace out.